YouTube as well. I was just about to say, please don't use YouTube, take along. Anyway, ciao, hi, hey, hola, it's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video. I thought I keep adding things to my intro, so I thought I'd say ciao, hi, hey, hola, amigos, and that kind of thing. That doesn't come across as cultural appropriation or whatever. But anyway, as today's the 8th and a Sunday as well, I often think about it rhymes with hate, but I don't like hate. So if I could make a deal with my maker, one deal I would make is to not hate anyone or anything. But yeah, so I turn it to love. So I thought reasons to love and support, or support and love, whichever order you want to put in, African Americans for Black History Month. So as it's Black History Month in America, as I said recently, but focusing on the Facebook screen for this one. So yeah, I think so. I'm going to take on a challenge of trying to come up with 40 ideas as I normally do, and if I can get around to it, and I hope I'm going to be able to take it on. So I hope this isn't going to go too badly wrong. I hope it won't be too cringeworthy. It probably failed on that already, but I hope it won't. I hope I'll be able to think of that many ideas, but I might need your help, any viewers out there. So if I can't think of any pointers, I'll probably just say if you can add any in the comments, either on Facebook, YouTube, or preferably both. I really appreciate it. And I forgot to say how to support African Americans as well. So again, I'd love to know how you think people, like potential allies like myself, want to be allies like myself, or allies or whatever, how we can better support African Americans and that kind of thing. But I forgot to say in the description about how to support them, as well as like reasons to support them. So yeah, case for supporting African Americans, and I suppose the how to and reasons to, and that kind of thing. I suppose a case for is the same as a reasons to. Anyway, these are pointers number 1 to 10 as per usual. So here goes. So number 1, once again, I'll probably need your help to any viewers out there to post in the comments any of that. If I say in certain points, if I can't think of any, I might just say, please let me know if you can add to that point or whatever. I know I do have a habit of trying to come up with 40 ideas. I find the list videos a bit easier a lot of time because it just means it helps me to focus on covering certain things and like remembering things a bit better and that kind of thing, I guess. But yeah, one thing I was thinking of is like POC, people of color like myself, supporting African Americans, and then if we need their help, maybe they could return the favor. So that's, I think, a potential reason to do so. And I guess that would go for Asians, mixed race people like myself, Native Americans, Latinos, Hispanics, and maybe even members of the Jewish community. So I guess supporting each other. I think of like one coming together as one to support each other. I'll drink to that, as they say. Yeah, I often think of like, I might cover this one a few times, but non-WASPs, as I call them, so people who are not white Anglo-Saxon Protestants coming together to support each other, and maybe even some WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, obviously, who are anti-racist as well, and just want to see a better world. But I think I'm going to move on to point number 2. So yeah, point number 2, I think it'd be interesting to find out about their historical contributions and to learn about them. And I think supporting others can make you feel better. And I was even thinking, like, when I, funny enough, I've just remembered this name, but I sometimes forget his name, Myron, I better say it before I forget, Myron Golden, I think it is. And that's his real name, or what name he goes by, but he talks about how to be original, that kind of thing. But I was thinking that even if you watch and listen to videos, or for those who read books, or whatever, or read things on Google or whatever, about how African Americans got wealthy, those success secrets that they're sharing, I guess, are things that could be applied to other communities. So by helping others, you can perhaps learn and be empowered yourself as well as feel better. But again, I'd love to know out there if you can think of any ideas as well as we go along that you might be able to add to what I cover. Number 3, loss of liberty. They had a loss of liberty in their past, and I think it'd be good to make up for that historical oppression, that historical taking away of their liberty. I think it'd be good to make up for that. One way to talking about the reasons, which I'll just the how to, which I was just talking about a minute or so ago, or a few minutes ago, or whatever. I was thinking like tax exemptions, which I've been talking about a lot. So I was thinking also reasons to support them, the case for support them, and that kind of thing, and how to support them. And one way could be providing tax cuts, and or even maybe helping minorities like African Americans to be tax exempt. I think that would be pretty cool. But also offering tax incentives. That's another way. Maybe governments, politicians, and whatnot could support the African American community, the Black community in America. They could talk about providing tax exemptions. And again, I know I've mentioned this before, but like there could be tax cuts, tax incentives, and that kind of thing, which would offer tax cuts for any company that supports African American empowerment, whether that's in business or whatever other areas, financial, economic empowerment, and that kind of thing. So that could be in terms of, like, that could be Walmart, IBM, BMW, Microsoft, Oracle, Apple, and or any other companies, or any company really. I think it'd be cool if they were offered tax exemptions. Those are the companies that first come to our mind. McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and others could be also included. Due to loss of liberty. So to make up for that loss of liberty, for social justice supports like myself, those into social causes. Other ways to support them could be like helping them on social media, like social media influencers from the Black community, of the Black diaspora, and including obviously African Americans. Number 4, for me personally, and I guess people might have their own personal reasons to support African Americans, other minorities and POC and whatnot might have their reasons, like myself, but others might have different reasons, like social justice or whatever. And for me, I would love to see, I suppose I should be careful what I say, because I suppose for others, they might, I suppose at any point I say, pretty much I might have to be careful what I say. I'm not wanting to say the wrong thing or whatever, but I guess some would, if they disagree with my ideas, would probably think the opposite, I guess. One of a better way of putting it. But I think, like, I don't think African Americans or other minorities, POC or whatnot, should join the military, in this case the American military, or the British or any other military, or European ones or whatever, especially former colonial powers or whatever, and ones who might be trying to re-establish colonialism in all these wars what going on, and that kind of thing. So I think to support them financially could be a way to ensure that they don't have to go through that option. And the other thing is, even if like the American government, British government, and so other governments try to enforce conscription, they could lobby to say no, we refuse to go, and work with other minorities and POC to come together. Come together right now. I try not to sing too much, but yeah, I try not to sing or sing too much. But yeah, I'm thinking of this song by Sweet Harmony, I think it's called. No, The Beloved, and the song's called Sweet Harmony. And The Farm, a band called The Farm, saying all together now, and all that kind of thing. I want to sing them, but I don't have the confidence. So I'm going to move on anyway to. But yeah, I think we could work together as POC and minorities, allies, and whatnot. And again, if and when we need their help, hopefully they'll return the favour. So that's a potential reason as POC to work together, to have each other's backs, to work together politically, to lobby together, and that kind of thing. Again, think about the methods, the how to, as well as the why. But moving on to number 4 again, then lost count. Number 5, I think it would be good to help Black ambition. But I'd love to know again what you think are reasons for or not for supporting African Americans. I know some people might say in America itself, I guess they would say, like Tucker Carlson, for those who know who he is, or those who don't, you can always Google him. You should pay him a commission, I suppose. But honestly, he asked people like, why don't we come together, and why would you have to separate or whatever, or why not say you're proud to be American or whatever, which is fair enough. Different views are fair enough, but I can understand if you've been historically treated as second-class citizens, you might want to have your own communities and groups. And some even say like integration was perhaps in some ways the worst thing to happen to African Americans because financially it put them at a disadvantage. So even though it seems like a really good thing um, from a base level or whatever, it might not be as good as it seems. Um, Not sure I'd say it was the worst thing to happen to them, but it might not be as good as it seems. I suppose nothing's perfect, but it probably left them worse off financially. So in many ways, it is a pretty bad thing that happened in a way, or it depends on how integration is done. Perhaps me personally, I love to support integration, but I know some people argue that it kept African Americans behind. I guess if people employ people more who look like more like themselves, then it could put them at a disadvantage. Whereas if they create their own businesses, then you don't have to rely on others. So if you learn how to invest and create your own businesses, then you don't have to rely on others. But again, I'd love to know as ever if you agree or disagree with any points I make. Um, Number 6, I'd love to see. I suppose this is not so much a why or a reason, but more of, or maybe I could include a reason, but this is more of just a general how, I guess, and what I'd love to see. And a general mad idea of mine as per usual, but I'd love to see Italian teams having their own academies and sports clubs, um, as I talked about recently. But I guess there could be a reason, or a why for that as well, because um, future as they become more empowered, they could hopefully they'll become more empowered financially, especially and possibly in other ways too. And they might return the favour hopefully. So they might by improving relations between Italians and black people through soccer or whatever you want to call it. Maybe as they become more successful, depending on how you. I put success in speech marks because I suppose it depends on how you define success. But they might invest into and sponsor and just generally support, become fans of Italian soccer teams and play for them in the future. So it could hopefully be a mutual benefit, and I suppose that is the why, I guess, a reason to do so. Number 7, similar sort of thing for Celtic. Number 8, I suppose the hate they've gone through to sort of make up for that, to sort of make up for the history and their lack of acknowledgements of what they've achieved, and they're not looking at what they've achieved and like people putting them down and saying that they haven't achieved anything or whatever, even though they've been doing it for so long. Which I suppose again is the reason why some African Americans, I would imagine, I can understand why they wouldn't want to integrate as much or be part of the wider society necessarily. Although I don't think they should be vengeful, but maybe by being financially empowered, that can stop a lot of the hate, including like reverse hate, reverse racism, or whatever you want to call it, and even like positive discrimination, so-called like DEI programs or whatever. If they can run their own businesses, they won't need that again. I think it's similar with neurodivergent people. If we can create our own businesses, then I guess we won't have to worry about whether schools help us or, as I say, teachers and schools or employers help us because we create our own employment and learn to invest and run our own businesses. And I think the same with POC and minorities, especially the black community. And again, POC and other minorities supporting them, and if they need support, they can return the favour. I personally believe black and other POC should boycott the military, as I say, and instead be involved in things like law enforcement, like being police officers, trying to make sure everyone gets equal, not favourable, but equal access to justice. So addressing the balance. I googled reasons for African Americans because I was looking for inspiration, and one of the biggest reasons that came up that I could find a bit sort of lazy and don't have the attention span, even if I want to read that much. But I read that it's like to close the racial wealth gap, and sort of you could call it social justice and that kind of thing. But I'd love to know POC, my fellow POC out there, what do you think as POC and minorities and whatnot about supporting African Americans? Do you think it's a wise idea? Do you think it's an ethical thing? Do you think it's the right thing to do? Or even ethical, even do you think it's something that could benefit other POC? Again, they might return the favour. I think as minorities, we have to come together. No, I don't live in America, but minorities, I think, need to come together, maybe even POC worldwide, to work together against white supremacy. And that could include empowering African Americans and indeed other communities like Latinos and Hispanics and other groups, Asians or whatnot. But I'm thinking more African Americans now because it's Black History Month in America at this point in time in February. But yeah, to sort of fight hate together again, working against white supremacy neo-nationalism, far right, and that kind of thing, or whatever you want to call them. I use those terms interchangeably, as I said in the past. But yeah, working together against like the white Anglo-Saxon power base, if you like, to try and give more power, empowerment to minorities, basically. Hopefully in the most ethical way possible. I think that covers everything for point number 8. Number 9, again, addressing the racial wealth gap and the for historical oppression. And number 10, I think supporting and empowering young people and disadvantaged people generally, I think is a really good thing to do. But as ever, again, I'd love to know if you agree or disagree with me and on anything, any points I made, and any other ideas or any thoughts you have of your own. Hope you'll look out for part 2, 3, and 4. And on that note, I'm out and peace and love.